right, hey dude, what's up? You're bleeding, man. Hey, I gotta get to you. Come here. Get your arm out. Step it. All right, dude. How you feeling, man? I know it doesn't feel good, dude. Okay, hang out with me for a second. You with me? Keep talking, dude. Okay. Hey, can you do me a favor? I need you to get EMS on the line, like right now, 911. You're doing that, and you over here, what I need you to do is get my med back, okay? So I just took the slack out. Tourniquet, brother. It's gonna turn. It's gonna get kind of tight on you, okay? Sorry, dude. It doesn't feel great, but I gotta keep this on you right now for a minute, okay? Hang with me, dude. You okay? All right, bro. Here, listen for a second, okay? You got EMS coming. You got med bag coming too. We're gonna move you right now. Cool? Thanks, brother.
My name is Alan Baker, and I've dedicated over 45 years to the study of the combative arts. Welcome to the Warrior's Path, where we train minds and bodies through the study of violence. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about tourniquets with Coach Paul, and you're pretty much going to get to watch me get tied up in knots.
You know that's on run, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, just make sure. Here's the scene. Sifu's down, coach is down. I've intentionally accepted the risk of me putting my head down for a few seconds because I have a life threat to coach. And I'm going to want to deal with that quickly, but also very intentionally. That's where this technique is really coming from. It's speed, it's expedience, but you also have to do it with surety. I mean, you've got to absolutely do it right and do it very, very well, okay? This is not a rushed movement for me. I'm going to incorporate a little bit of violence of action because I don't want to stay here. Remember, bad stuff just happened. I don't want to hang out here. Not a friendly area. The other thing when you're setting up this training for students in the future, guys, no actual casualty ever is just going to sit here and do the Da Vinci thing to you, okay? Where we are doing this pose. People are really going to look like what you see with Coach Allen on the ground, which we'll pan into in a second. They're going to be in what we call a fetal or decorticate position. And the reason is this is your body's natural programming for you protecting your core, right? That's why it's called decorticate. So I'm going to have to move him. That's the reality, is nobody's in this perfect anatomical position. And I think some people lose a little bit of confidence here because they hear this idea of that there's trauma. I can't move a person because of their cervical spine or potential for a back injury. Guys, he is about to, no kidding, die because of a blood loss problem. Like, at best, that cervical injury is, like, way down the list for me. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not even thinking about that right now. What I am thinking about is something bad not happening to me or him and getting him off the ground, or if this is my loved one, getting her off of the ground to where I can get them to a space where I can work most effectively. That's what my focal effort has to be right here. This is dirt medicine, not hospital medicine. So we have to really kind of get in that warrior mindset here. So my first thing is, Coach, you okay, brother? What's going on? I don't care if he's responding to me. I really don't. What I care about is the fact that he's at least, at the worst case, hearing something from me. The last sense that you're going to lose before you go completely offline is your auditory senses. There's been data that proves it for years. I'll be happy to reference it later on if you guys are curious. But I'm going to keep talking. Coach, I see you're bleeding, brother. I need to get to you. For sake of this exercise, we're just going to say it's upper right extremity for ease of viewing. I'm going to move him. I'm going to get him to where I can work. Okay? When you put a person on their back, again, is this naturally the best place? Maybe not. But it is for me right now because I need to be able to clearly identify what's going on. We identified that right upper extremity bleed. What I'm going to do is try to get to direct pressure now. And again, this is going a little slow right now, just explaining my movements. Coach, you're bleeding, brother. I need to get to your upper arm. I got to move you around a little bit. So my step one is I'm going to split the middle. I know it's a little interesting for the camera right now, but hopefully you can see I'm basically pointing my toes straight at his armpit. I'm going to step right over this extremity with my heel to the back of his wrist. I'm bending down, grabbing his wrist, and right here, this is full arm extension, as you can see. Coach, you're not helping, just for sake of the conversation. Okay? What I'm going to do is I'm focusing really on driving this knee outward while letting this knee come in to this armpit area. And I'll show you why here in a second. We'll do a better explanation on anatomy here in a minute. As I pull this out, what you're going to see naturally is my right knee can go right into where that bone is. Coming off of him for a second, Coach, I know this doesn't feel great, okay, but for the sake of the camera, we're going to make a sacrifice for the betterment of humankind for a moment, okay? Once I have the pressure, what did we just talk about up there on the back of the truck? If he's not bleeding now, can I take a moment and just breathe and reset myself? So I'm going to give Coach a quick break here for a second and come off of him. But can I also hold that pressure? Can I take this moment, and you guys all saw Coach when he was coming down off running to go get the tourniquet, that he was breathing a little hard. His dexterity wasn't there. Sometimes your vision narrows when you get winded. You're hyper-stressed a little bit. Guys, I know Coach talks about this a lot. I'm going to say it too. You need to take a moment and breathe right now. Okay? You're going to be stressed. It's okay. I do it all the time. Once you've secured this bleed and he's not hemorrhaging, you stop the clock. You don't need to rush this right now. This is going to get into technique, and you need to do this very, very well. So stop. Take that good breath. Coach, what'd you call it earlier? You called it a recovery breath or cleansing breath?
Cleansing breath.
Cleansing breath. So I'm going to stop, collect myself. One of the reasons that I'm positioning myself here, if you guys notice, where's my head at? It's not forcibly down. What I am doing is I'm kind of in a semi-kneeling position where my head is up and I can see what's going on around me. I can also be directing somebody right now. Hey, can you go call 911? Hey, can you go get more med gear? While I'm in fact coming over here, remember, I can just find that good bleeder. How's the artery feeling right now, brother?
Stopped.
Got it? Okay. I can get to my tourniquet. Now, for demonstration of that technique where I started, I know I kind of did an admin pause on you there. I'm just going to take my knee, go back into that space, that really awesome place for Coach, to show you, when you're looking at these tourniquets, you can separate them. I can come around. What are our rules of tourniquet application? Go high, yes. Hey, brother, I know it doesn't feel great. We're taking all the slack out as much as possible. Violence of action, yes. Once I get that on there, what do you do next? We turn, okay? How often do we turn, guys? Turn till bleeding stops. So I'm turning, okay? We'll say that's there. Sorry, Coach. We'll get this off in a second. You okay? Okay. Come back here. Verify bleed stop. Guess what I can do now? I can pick him up and move him offline. For sake of the conversation and not torturing Sifu Allen here so I don't get my tail handed to me later on today. Probably will anyway, but it's all good. I'm going to take that off for a moment. One of the valuable things, and Coach, stay there for a second if you don't mind. I'm going to stay away from the tourniquet just to kind of talk about how I lined you up anatomically. Remember, he was in that fetal position. I had to roll him off. There's a reason, so I can access that artery. Okay? The way we're all built, your arteries are going to be on the inside of your bone structure. So what I did to him, even though it was a little uncomfortable, is I was lining up his actual anatomy, his bone structure specifically, in a very, very specific way. By stepping through that 45, pointing at his armpit, stepping over. When I take his hand, I'm making sure that the underside of his arm is exposed. I'm rotating it outward. You guys catch that? Notice what happens to this artery. Here, I can't really get to it very well because all you have is the outside of the arm. There's no artery outside here, okay? This part where I'm rotating up, what did I just expose? Where his brachial artery is. What I did is I stepped over, okay? And I put him right behind my knee. Now, the next thing is, I know it doesn't feel great, but for sake of conversation, you okay with that for a minute? Okay. What I'm trying to do is make this as easy as I can possibly deal with. I know this is a little slow right now, but it's really critically important. My knee would normally go right here. I showed you how I can also, one finger, got it? That's how fast that is. Why does it work every time? Because I took the half second to line up his wrist and extend his arm. That gives me the bone structure to push against. Arteries travel next to bones. Okay? Well, what about the bone's broken? Great. You know why? Because this now exposes that. By the way, this is called traction. You can see I'm pulling Coach a little bit simply by moving my knee. By pulling this, I'm actually taking pain off of him. because I'm reducing that compression of that bone break. It's another technique. It's actually going to make your patient feel better, all the while making my life easier. Everybody good? Once I have that pressure, I can have that good breath, a good cleansing breath that Coach talks about. Do it a couple times, guys. You're going to need it. Okay, I promise you're going to need it. So please take the time. When you get to the dexterity of putting on the actual tourniquet itself, I'm going to go admin for a minute while I grab the tourniquet. Couple things. I know Coach is teaching you off of a North American Rescue CAT. That's a combat application tourniquet. They're on Gen 7 now. This is a TAC Med Solutions Soft T Wide. Everybody kind of has their personal flavor of tourniquet. My recommendation would be you stay with a one that has a metal windlass, okay? That is one of my biggest, most important things, and actually is U.S. made. Okay, how do you know that? All the U.S. made tourniquets are going to have their own individual version of a tagline. That's right here that you can verify. Particularly with the North American Rescue versions, there's a lot of Chinese knockoffs that you might see on Amazon. Please stay away from those. I can talk a little more about that later. But windlass tourniquet is where you want to be, okay? You also want to have a thick band on that tourniquet. This is an 1.5 inch, actually 1.75 inch band, okay? North American Rescue has theirs, again. I'm not here to advocate for one or the other. This just happens to be the one I prefer because I like using it, so I've used it for so long. This thick band is a critical piece for us. We've done studies on this. I'll be happy to link this at the bottom of the video, but I'll put the citations in there. We can have tourniquets, and we have documentation on tourniquets on people's extremities for 8+ hours, having them then removed later on after they're able to reanimate the extremity by letting blood flow through once they've secured and been able to tie off that bleeder surgically. Okay? So some of the historical knowledge around tourniquets causing a bunch of issues for us, neuropathies, etc., I would strongly debunk that, frankly, and being a part of some credentialing bodies that we have in the military, Special Operations Medical Association, and others, the latest data is showing us that tourniquets are very, very, very safe when applied correctly. So please don't let that stay away from you. The things you're concentrating again on: metal bar, thick band, 1.75 or better, okay? Make sure you got those two criteria, and obviously U.S. made is going to be my recommendation as well. Cool? Let's go back to this, though. Stepping over, IDing that bleeder. If I were just to avoid that whole technique, and I simply come up, and can you go back to fetal, Sifu? If I just come up and I'm trying to work on him, I'm oftentimes getting my own way and defeating myself a little bit here. So I'm still going to try to move him to where I can work best, which is going to be throwing him off. Where's his arm here? How do I get a tourniquet around that? Well, you could have two options. One, you can just take the loop, okay? And you're not helping on this one. We're just going to talk about this for a little bit. Remember, if he's unconscious and he's really down hard, he's going to be completely limp. So he's just going to fall. Okay, so he's not helping me at all. I could take this, and this is where people can oftentimes get caught up because you see the blood, you're freaking out, there's no pressure control yet. I'm trying to take that pressure off of you with getting that good direct pressure first. When you're fighting with this, I'm constantly banging his arm in the ground. Does that make sense? Because I'm doing this thing. And I'm sure if you guys played with tourniquets at all, you can kind of catch yourself doing it too. I can, if it doesn't matter, I'm showing my left hand right now. Let's say he's out here even a little nicer. I'm still kind of fighting through the same thing. Does that make sense? So the reason I was spending a moment to really focus on getting his arm up is here. If I have that in the back, I can simply not have to bang his arm in the ground, make my life better. Yes, all I did was pop loose where this tourniquet separates. North Americans does as well. Come back here, and I can, guess what, place that tourniquet exactly where I need it to be. Do you see how much easier that is, rather than fighting it all the way up? This is going to be a particular case for the lower extremity too, which we'll get to here next, right? Even if I tried just the technique of his arm's down and I separate it, and I catch this with a lot of students, you're still going to have to pick up this arm, and you're still going to have to fight him to find where all these things are. You're working in a negative space, and while it's a beautiful day outside with nice sun, what about it being cold? What about it being wet? What about low light? Okay, what about not in a good place? You see how this could make my life more complex when I'm already hyper stressed. So I'm trying to take some of the pressure off of you guys with some technique, okay? That's where we build those skill sets. Now, just to talk about the application of the tourniquet, since I kind of may rush through it a little bit more, for sake of just demonstration for the camera, I'm going to keep it up high. We want that tourniquet to be up high first. This is going to be our initial tourniquet application. I'll get to downstaging of a tourniquet later. I close the loop, take the slack out, right? This is a violent move for me. It's going to be a jerk. I don't want to waste time, so I don't want to be here, right? I know I talked about slowing down a little bit to do that cleansing breath. Here I'm trying to move with intention and being very specific. See if you should feel that a little bit right now, yes? Mm-hmm. You got the tension out of there. Why it's so critical to take all the tension out? Well, there's really no room for my finger in here. And Brian, if you can zoom in, make sure you're showing that pretty closely. I should not be able to fit my finger underneath the tourniquet at all. If I can, it's too loose. Okay, it goes for this one as well as the North American Rescue. Take the slack out, guys. Turn how many times? Until bleeding stops. Okay, I know that's going to be uncomfortable, brother. Sorry, one more time. Drop it through the closing clasp. Move on. But remember I said I want to do this with intentionality. I want to do it deliberately, and I want to do it very, very well.
You okay? Talk to me. You're bleeding, so I'm going to have to take care of you here.
Okay. Don't laugh, man. What's going on, dude?
I'm going to put a tourniquet on you. It's going to hurt a little bit.
Hey, can you call my wife?
Yes, we'll take care of all of that.
Okay, you sure?
It's going to be okay.
You gotta let her know, okay?
Yep, I'll let her know. Hey, Brian, I need you to call 911. And there's an emergency kit behind the passenger seat of my truck. I need you to go get that.
Hey, can you notify my wife?
We're calling her right now.
Hey, you gotta notify my wife, dude. You gotta tell her, okay?
All right, we got you taken care of.